Our second prepared speech today is an advanced speech from the Interpretive Reading Advanced Manual. Our next speaker is a competent communicator and a competent leader. Not yet? Yes? Yeah. Who is working on his Advanced Leader Bronze as well as his Advanced Communicator Bronze. He's doing the first project in interpretive reading, where he is supposed to read a story to us in 8 to 10 minutes to convey the author's meanings and emotions. Today he will be reading a letter by Kurt Vonnegut titled Slaughterhouse 1945. Please welcome Fred Sadler.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. This reading is dedicated to all U.S. military men and women and their families, past, present, and future, who are among the bellwethers of our society.
Again, my signals wrong. Sorry.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, Kurt Vonnegut, before he was a famous author and wrote such books as Cat's Cradle and Slaughterhouse 5, was a POW in Nazi Germany. I'm going to read today a letter he wrote on May 29th, 1945 to his parents, which I came across about 2 weeks ago in Newsweek magazine. It really made an impact on me, and that's why I want to share it with you today. It's from a collection of letters that his son has published, as Kurt Vonnegut died about 2 years ago. From PFC Kurt Vonnegut Jr., U.S. Army, to his parents in Indianapolis, May 29th, 1945. Dear people, I'm told that you were probably never informed that I was anything other than, in quotes, missing in action, end quote. Chances are that you also failed to receive any of the letters I wrote from Germany. That leaves me a lot of explaining to do. In summary, I've been a prisoner of war since December 19th, 1944, when our division was cut to ribbons by Hitler's last desperate thrust into Luxembourg and Belgium. 7 fanatical panzer divisions hit us and cut us off from the rest of Hodge's First Army. The other American divisions on our flanks managed to pull out. We were obliged to stay and fight. Bayonets aren't much good against tanks. Our ammunition, food, and medical supplies quickly ran out. Soon our casualties outnumbered those who could still fight. So we had to give up. Our 106th got a presidential citation and some British decoration from Montgomery, I'm told, but I'll be damned if it was worth it. I was one of the few who weren't wounded. For that, I thank God. Well, the Superman marched us without food, water, or sleep to Limburg, a distance of about 60 miles, I think. And we were loaded and locked up, 60 men to each small, unventilated, unheated boxcar. There were no sanitary accommodations. The floors were covered with cow dung. There wasn't room for all of us to lie down, so half of us slept while the other half stood. We spent several days, including Christmas, on that Limburg site. On Christmas Eve, the Royal Air Force bombed and strafed our unmarked train. They killed about 150 of us. We got a little water on Christmas Day and moved slowly across Germany to a large POW camp south of Berlin. We were released from the boxcars on New Year's Day and herded through scalding, delousing showers. Many men died from the shock, having had 10 days of starvation, thirst, and exposure before that. But not me. Under the Geneva Convention, officers are not obliged to work when taken prisoner. I am, as you know, a private. 150 such minor beings were shipped to a Dresden work camp on January 10th. I was their leader by virtue of the little German that I spoke. It was our misfortune to have fanatical, sadistic guards. We were refused medical attention and clothing. We were given long hours at extremely hard labor. Our food ration was 250 grams of black bread and 1 pint of unseasoned potato soup each day. After desperately trying to improve our situation and having met with just bland smiles from the guards, I told the guards just what I was going to do to them when the Russians came. They beat me up a little. I was fired as group leader. Beatings were a really very small time. One boy starved to death. 2 others were shot for stealing food. On about February 14th, the Americans flew over, followed by the RAF. Their combined labors killed 250,000 people in 24 hours and destroyed all of Dresden, possibly the world's most beautiful city at the time, but not me. After that, we were put to work carrying corpses from air raid shelters, women, children, and old men, dead from concussion, fire, or suffocation. Civilians cursed us and threw rocks at us as we carried bodies to a huge funeral pyre in the center of the city. When General Patton took Leipzig, we were evacuated on foot to the Saxony-Czechoslovakian border. There we remained until the war ended. Our guards deserted us. On that happy day, the Russians were intent on mopping up isolated outlaw resistance. Their planes strafed and bombed us, killing 14, but not me. 8 of us stole a team and a wagon. We traveled and looted our way through Sudetenland and Saxony for 8 days, living like kings. The Russians are crazy about Americans. They picked us up in Dresden. We rode from there to the American lines at Halle in Ford trucks. We've since flown to Le Havre. I'm writing from a Red Cross club in Le Havre, a POW repatriation camp. I'm being well fed and entertained. The U.S.-bound ships are jammed naturally, so I'll have to be patient. I hope to be home in a month. I'll be given 21 days recuperation, about $600 in back pay, and get this, 60 days furlough. I have too damn much to say. The rest will have to wait. I can't receive mail here, so don't write. May 29th, 1945. Love, Kurt. Happy Christmas.